This is Jim Haig. Hey, how you doing? This is Truth Seeking Souls. And, you know, what's really missing in America that I'm seeing now, as opposed to the days I grow up, is community. You know, I think I knew about the people of 20 houses. And we had a large neighborhood. We had over like 100 homes, and I knew about 20 of them. And we would have block parties, and the kids would just get together, and we would play outdoors, and summer was such fun. We had a really good all-American neighborhood. But today, I hear crickets. I don't see many kids, and I maybe know about 2 or 3 of my neighbors. It's just changing. It's just, and I don't like it. So sometimes when we want to be in the world that we want to put ourselves in, well, we watch movies and we read books. And speaking of books, I have my dear friend, Jeanne Kirkpatrick, who authored a wonderful book called Mermville. And before I mention how to purchase it, I have her here. Hey, Jeanne.
Hi, Jim. Good to be with you.
Of course. It's good to be with you, too. And how you been? How's life? How's everything? You're in Arizona, right?
I'm in Arizona, in a small town that's very lovely and kind and safe. And I'm fine. I'm with my partner, and we just have a wonderful life together.
That's beautiful, beautiful. So now this book that you wrote, What's the name of it? And tell me more about it.
It's called Mermville, and it was channeled to me from the universe. So I wrote it all down, and I took my time in creating the characters, and I used my grandchildren and my 2 daughters to create the little critters that live in Mermville in the land of S. So it's all
the land of what?
Land of S. S-E-S-S-S. So you have to extend your vision up there. And then this is just a warm, loving little community there, because everyone gets along and they help each other and they love each other. There's MM and JJ, the Buzzy Bee girls. There's Zahara, the butterfly. There's Auntie Mimi, Merm, Gramps, and Grandma. There's the Merm family.
And where does the town ESSS, does that stand for anything?
No, it's just a spiritual place. Think of it like that.
So think of it like the land of Oz.
Yeah, think of it like the land of Oz.
Okay,
correct.
So it's sort of like this fantasy place where everybody wants to be in emerald villages and yellow brick roads.
Yes.
And so your characters are named after your immediate family or your grandchildren per se?
Well, my grandchildren mostly. My 2 younger daughters, Melissa and Jamie, are MM and JJ, the Buzzy Bee sisters, and they actually have a song. They actually gave me 3 songs to go with this book. And there's Miss M, who's my oldest granddaughter, and her twin is Jack, my grandson.
Now, M is McKenna, right?
Yes, McKenna.
Okay.
She's in New York. She has no idea the book's out, but that's okay.
And if you were to offer me like a 4-sentence summary of this book, what would it be?
This book is a book of love and community and helping each other and building a solid community based on love.
Okay, and so are there any, is there a storyline in this book?
No, the storyline is just about the characters in the book and some fun things they do, some interesting little adventures. So Miss M has tea parties. She has honeysuckle tea parties. And the Buzzy Bee sisters bring the honey to the tea, and they bring their honeycomb candy. So they have tea and honeycomb candy, and I don't know what else they would have, but they have a fine time. And then one time, Miss M and the girls wanted to go watch Jack, who plays baseball and soccer and everything in the field, and they left the table with the food. Well, when they came back, all the food was gone, and they're looking around going, well, what happened? We're in a safe place. What happened?
Who can resist tea and honeysuckle? Who can resist that?
Yeah.
Even I would take it.
Yeah, I know. So they saw this eyeball in the flowers next to them, and they said, "Who are you?" And Cameron the chameleon came down and said, "My name is Cameron. I saw this delicious food on the table and I couldn't resist. I was so hungry I had to eat it." And they went, "Oh, that's okay." They felt so bad for Cameron. I said, "Why don't you stay and be a part of our community?" That's what the book's about.
That's really beautiful, because most people will be like, "What the heck? You took my food. What's wrong with you? I'm going to call the police right now. You can't do that." But instead you develop characters that are compassionate, because, when I hear someone says, "I was very hungry, I couldn't help it," growing up in a third world or developing country many years ago, if you see starving babies and starving mothers and just struggling and begging for food, not money, food on the street. Wow. So if that ever happened to me, I'd be like, you know what? You can have it. I got plenty, and it really is beautiful, because when I read that, I was like, that was my favorite part, actually, because when I read that, when they said you can have it, that was really nice. That really warmed my heart in many ways.
Thank you.
So you're saying community, right? They help each other build things. I read something they're building, they're relocating because there's some construction going on. Well,
the little Mermville community was growing so quickly that Poppy Merm, Poppy Merm, Mommy Merm, the twins, Miss M and Jack, and Baby C. So the Poppy Merm took his friends, and they kind of went down and looking for more property to expand the community, and they saw a berm. They crawled up the berm, and they saw on the other side there was tractors and backhoes, and they were busy building something. And he said, "Okay, we'll build on this side of the berm." So that's when their community started digging holes again, because they're annelids, they're worms. And then because the tractors had taken down all the flowers and pushed them to the side on the other side of the berm, one day the wind came and all the flower seeds flew up and over the berm, and they flew down into the holes that the worms had dug. And then the rain came and filled up the holes, and then the sun came out and started, they warmed the seeds, and the seeds started to grow and became flowers. So that part of the community had more flowers again. And then one day they said, "What happened to all that noise?" And they all crawled up. The community crawled up on the tallest flowers, the sunflowers. They looked over the berm, and they saw a community of families was built.
And that is beautiful. And I'll tell you what, and I don't want to give too much of the book away, because I want people to buy it and read it. But what do you think is, you're saying that this was channeled to you. Yes. Why do you think it was channeled, and not specifically to you, but I'm just saying, why do you think it was channeled at all?
Well, I'm very spiritual in my life, and I believe in the afterlife, and I believe in angels and spirits and guides and the ancestors who have passed on and still are guiding me.
But I'm just saying, at the same time, there must be a reason why, and we'll get into why they chose you, but I'm just saying there must be a reason why the spirits felt that it had to be channeled, it had to be communicated. Do you think that because of the way we live in the world right now?
Yes, I do. I think it's time we just, this is the beginning of the dawning of the age of Aquarius, where everybody gets along in community. So this is just inviting the children to take a look at their lives, their community, and this little story and how people help each other. So that's why, and I think it was channeled because I have a lot of energy, and I love children, and I can't wait to read the story to them.
Why do you think they selected you?
Because I have a lot of energy. I love children. I have 4 and 5 grandchildren, and I would take this book. They knew I would take this information and publish it.
And why do you think there is what's happening with community right now? What is in your vision is is happening, good or bad?
Well, I'm in a small town, so we tend to really help each other. But I think other places that are so big and so metropolitanized, and people are just after the money and gouging, and they're just unhappy people going more towards the money, the greed, and the power than they are being compassionate, empathetic, and loving to each other. That's just not a thing right now.
Now, you used to live in Hollywood, right? Or close to Hollywood?
Yes, I lived in L.A. twice.
Okay, so do you think L.A. is one of those cities that can use community?
Definitely. L.A. is just going down. Hollywood's going down. It's just, everything runs its course, and that fire sort of put people on notice, and it's run its course in many ways. So I think that it has to, there'll be a redo in Hollywood, because it's just not right for the world.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, I would agree, because people kind of want to be left alone, and it's like making friends is harder and harder every year. It just seems that way. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. Making friends is difficult.
Yeah, and
people are mistrusting.
Yeah, I think that's the case, and I'll tell you, I would love to have my son go out and play. The problem is, I don't trust what's out there, and I mean, I get fearful just letting him walk to school all by himself.
No.
Yeah, it's very tough, but my parents were never afraid. Back in the 80s, I would get out around 10 o'clock whenever I woke up, if there was no school or if it's summertime. I would get up at 10 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, I was outdoors, and we were playing baseball or catch or tag, or, we'd have a whole community of kids, and sometimes we wouldn't come back until dinner time. And then once we've had dinner, out the door again we went. We went out and stayed until 8 o'clock, until dark. And, the parents, we didn't have phones even. So there was no way for the parents to know where we were, what we were doing. We didn't have any GPS or any of that stuff. There was just a trust. That amazes me that today we have all that technology, but yet there's no trust.
Yes. Well, there have been some terrible crimes on children, so people are more protective. I was raised in the 50s. It was even better. We did the same thing. We rode our bikes, we played, we went hiking, we went down to the creek, we took cardboard boxes and scooted down on the grass, the dried grass. Yes, and we were out. Yes, after dinner even, and playing baseball and football and kickball and whatever we wanted in our street. And all the parents knew where we were, because they could look out the windows or come outside and watch us, make sure we were okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
In my neighborhood, they didn't even look out the window. They just, you'll be back by 6 o'clock. One time my mom got so mad at me, she goes, leave the house right now and don't come back home until dinner time.
Oh, my goodness sakes. That's rare.
I don't know what I did, but she was really livid. And dinner time I came back home and everything was okay. But can you imagine now? It's like we're always checking our phones where they are. But at the same time, I am happy that I do live in a very good neighborhood. We do look out for each other. We do have a community, but it's still just, it's only like 3 or 4 homes that does that. Yes. In a little cul-de-sac of 7 homes. It's just like 3 or 4 of us that kind of do that. The rest kind of just on their own,
Yeah, they don't care.
Well,
lack of caring, and yes.
Do you think it's a lack of caring, or is just too much energy?
They don't care about you and your other children and other people around.
I don't know, because my son doesn't go outside.
Even you taking a walk in the neighborhood, what's that like?
It's empty. There's nobody there. I am more fearful of stray dogs, like a pit bull, than I am about a person walking towards me.
Wow. Well, that's a given.
Yeah. yeah. So I'm just saying that the whole perception of a community, it's just
dissolved.
It's dissolved, and I think that's shameful.
It is shameful. It's a sad situation that we've lost. Yes. My friends, the ones who are left, talk about that all the time. So it's just like a lost art.
Well, what do you think? How do you think we can get it all back if it's possible?
We have to wake up and begin to take care of each other in our immediate neighborhood and families. We need to have block parties where you bring food and you have tables outside and chairs, and you share your food and you share your conversation and your love for each other and the neighborhood, and help each other. Oh, I have a project going on. Oh, I'll help you with that. That has to happen. So we build on that, and we build trust that way. No trust, like you said.
And in your book, they did that. They got together and they built a project together. I'm not going to tell what that project is, although we might have mentioned it earlier. But I'm just saying that I just thought it was really nice that they got together and they did something together and they accomplished something together.
Yes, and then there was a time where Baby C limped along and fell down and bumped his head on a rock, and Franny Frog and Billy Turtle took care of him until Jared the Dragonfly came in. He went and got Hummy the Hummingbird because he was faster.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. Can we go through the characters and just give me, after you name a character, just give me a few words describing that character.
Baby C is the last born child of Mommy and Poppy Merm, and he was born in the shape of a C, so it's hard for him to crawl. He scoots along. He doesn't crawl like a normal worm would crawl.
Okay.
And these worms are tall. They're not crawling on the ground. Part of them is moving along, but the rest of them are very tall.
Okay.
So,
and how about another one?
They have to take care of him.
Okay.
They have to make sure he's watched when he's outside and that he's cared for, and he scoots along, and they have to just they take care of him.
Okay.
Everybody takes care. In the community, everybody takes care.
Beautiful.
Of each other.
And name another character.
So another character is, Mommy Merm. She's the mother of all three worms and the daughter of Gramps and Grammy. So Mommy Merm, she's the mother, so she's the foundation of the family. And she takes care and does all the things that mommies do. And then there's Miss M and Jack. They're the twins. So, like I say, Jack plays all the sports in the park with the boys, and Miss M has tea parties, and she does the girly girl things. So, and then Grammy and Gramps live near the Mermville family. The Merms live in the trees, the roots of the trees in the ground, and Grammy and Gramps live nearby in the rocks. So they're always helping each other. And one day when little the younger one, he falls down and he hits his head, and they have to go get him, and they bring him to Grammy and Gramps, and Grammy has a garden of herbs. She helps all the children in the community. If they get a boo-boo, she takes care of them and fixes that up. So he had a bump on his head, and so Grammy, put lavender and whatever else she does to help heal his wound. And when Gramps saw that, he went to his shed and he made a red helmet for him to wear so he wouldn't fall down.
And let me guess, you're Grammy.
No, actually,
really?
I'm Auntie Mimi Merm.
Oh, okay.
I'm the one who teaches children art and music and acting.
Oh, okay. Very
I
cool.
put them on the stage, and they get to do plays in front of their friends and family. So
nice. Well, I'm sure your grandchildren will appreciate it, as of any child that reads this
Thank
book.
you.
So, and this is, I guess, is available on Amazon. So, one last question. What's that?
Yes.
What is? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Barnes and Noble.
Okay, so we said Amazon and Barnes and Noble. But let me ask you this: what is a merm?
A merm is a worm. A worm. When my son and my older daughter were younger, my son would throw worms. He'd pick worms up from the ground and throw them at his sister. And I would say, stop. Typical children, stop throwing worms at your sister. And he'd say, merms. And I'd say, worms. He'd say, merms. It's fine. Merms it is. So that's where the name came from.
Ah, got it.
It's Mermville.
Okay,
yes.
So Mermville. So, and it's available, so we can do a search on Amazon. There'll also be a link on Truth Seeking Souls. And
great.
So we will definitely do the best we can to get this word around. And if you are if you're a grade school teacher and you want to teach your kids about community, and you should want to teach your kids about community, this is a good book for you. And you can download it, or actually, it's available on Kindle as well, right?
Yes.
Hardcover.
Paperback, hardback, yes.
And Kindle. Very cool. So there's many different options to go ahead and purchase this really beautiful book. And I think that we really need to spread the whole concept of community, because it just seems like it's missing. And I think it's hurting us deep down inside. It's really hurting us,
Yes.
Yeah, there's an emptiness.
It has.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
I just think that when you have certain people who think they're better than others,
there you go.
That's just not going to serve humanity, and that's going to cause conflict and more conflict. So Thank you again for writing this book. I thought it was much needed. And overall, it was beautifully done and you did all the illustrations, right?
I illustrated the characters and the title of the book. It's my artwork.
Yeah.
They did some more. They went in and did. They just put the book together for me, so it was nice.
Okay, so you had an editing services that did that, but you did all the drawing.
Yes, I did that way.
Okay, and then you did all the drawing, the artwork, all the artistic expressions was done by you, and all the creativity.
Mostly.
Yeah, mostly. Well, I mean, look, it was a great accomplishment for sure, and the message is quite clear, and we thank you for that for sure.
Oh, I appreciate that, Jim. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead. Anything you want to say?
I just am grateful that I'm on here and got to speak with you today, and I'm excited about my book. So go, folks, go buy the book.
And yes, and wait for a second book coming up, right?
Yes, actually, the workbook is coming out next week.
Ah, so the workbook.
The workbook includes all of the merms, and it has stories, and it has, for young children can do the dot-to-dot tracing, and they can do coloring, and they can answer questions, and there's mazes, and there's actually some nice mazes they can go see. Kids like that, the mazes and all that. So it's quite extraordinary. So that is going to be out. So it asks questions about Mermville, about the book. So kind of wanting you to have the book to be able to answer, but not, you can go just, go and buy the book, the workbook, and just color.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, yes. I have my copy. I bought it, and it's with me.
Thank you.
We read it, and we really enjoyed it. All right. Well, everybody, buy the book. And, of course, let's go ahead and bring back the old-time America in regards to community and togetherness and friendship. Obviously, that we want all that back. So, Miss Jeanne, thank you so much for coming on the show and spending time and explaining We really appreciate it and wish you all the best and all the success in the future.
I appreciate that, Jim. You as well. Take good care.
All right. Well, this has been Jim Haig with Jeanne Kirkpatrick for Truth Seeking Souls.